Hi, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to end today's session. My name is Ingebjørg Sævareid, and I am the head of Fish Health and Nutrition in Salmon Group. So who is or what is Salmon Group? Salmon Group is Norway's most important network for local fish farmers. We have 41 small and medium-sized shareholders producing salmon and trout in Norway. I have been asked with peering into the crystal ball and making some qualified guesses on our biggest challenge, the sea lice. And with that, we are going to 2040. So in 2040, in 20 years, the early 2020s will maybe feel like the years we'd rather forget. Despite the pandemic and the economic earthquakes, the aquaculture industry landed quite smoothly on both feet. Nevertheless, we feel that we have come quite a long way in 20 years. And what milestones have been reached in the few years? Join me for travel back to the future. 2021, the year we moved boats and equipment across production zones. We used well boats for both small transport and harvest. We had 50 million cleaner fish at work in the cages. The public affairs, scientists, and the industry discussed whether hot water treatment was harmful for the salmon or not. The traffic light system was switched on, but was the decision based on for the lightning good enough? And should fish welfare have been included? But in home offices, and the creativity was at its peak, and the solutions for the future were created during the pandemic. 2024, the year we remember as the breakthrough for machine learning. All companies and facilities had real-time registrations of sea lice and were also able to alert algae, find the best time and size for the sea transfer, set the date and weight for harvest. We gained control of the number of fish we had in our cages. We were able to identify each fish as individuals. The nets were smart and gave us feedback on injuries, tears, and fouling. At the end of 2024, the industry celebrated that we achieved the goal of zero escaped fish. 2027, the Directorate of Seafood had been established. All management of the industry is under the same directorate, and we call this seamless management. Most smolts are produced as post-smolt, and the production time in the sea is about 7 to 8 months. Most facilities in the sea can be elevated or submerged, and the first generations of offshore farming is in exposed sea was a success. The Fish Health Report for 2027 reported another year of decline in cases of infectious diseases. The PD virus is detected only sporadically, but clinical outbreaks have been greatly reduced, and ISA has not been detected since 2024. The success criterion for this decline, in contrast to what we did 10 years ago, is now that we are leaving our fish alone. We do not need to handle the fish anymore. And waste of feed is history thanks to innovations in feeding technology. In 2034, NOMA came with the happy news that they have received a market authorization application for a sea lice vaccine. Based on the good relations to the aquaculture industry, this application was prioritized in 2034, and the MA was granted. The law regulating gene editing technologies was finally in place, and IMR has produced several generations of salmon that are gene edited with CRISPR, which has led early maturation in post-smolt production to almost none. The first CRISPR-edited salmon with increased resistance to sea lice has gone into sea. Lasers, short production time in the sea, smart cages, and the use of genetic technology has reduced the need for cleaner fish. So in 2040, the aquaculture industry is a story about how an industry built communities along the coast and how Norway was not longer recognized as the oil country, but as a Silicon Valley for technology for aquaculture. In 2040, we will laugh a little ironically on how a small parasite almost destroyed the industry, but the lessons about what it costed in animal welfare and money and the long working days is what we remember. This will not be forgotten, and we will take it with us in the development of new farm species. With more than 10,000 years of livestock in production, we have so far not been able to eradicate a single parasite, and that we should to be able to do so with eradicating the salmon lice is in 20 years is highly unlikely. We agree that the industry has a problem. The sea lice tolerates pressures, hot water, fresh water, and medication. In the fight against sea lice, we have created new industries that have an annual turnover of millions of dollars. Nevertheless, we are working with eagerness towards 2040. Challenges will be solved on the way, and I believe that we will achieve this in both a sustainable and welfare-wise way. It was not a silver bullet that solved our sea lice challenges, but the sum of the measures. Thank you.